that jaywalking punk anarchist. Jaywalking punk anarchist.
Hey Anarkitty, listen, here's why I called you over. I've been thinking a lot about something, and I really think you're the best buddy to brainstorm with. You know Emerican Johnson has been writing this cool anarchist series called The Newcomer?
Oh, I thought I smelled dog. Yeah, Rad, I know about it, but written language is like totally bourgeois, so of course I haven't actually read it. Why? What about it?
I was thinking there should totally be an activist character, like a believable, realistic activist character.
Well, this kitty's all about action. What kind of social disruption might such a character perpetrate?
Well, there are of course the classical forms of activism, such as picket lines, marches, boycotts, graffiti, breaking windows, and burning garbage cans. And there are plenty of mutual aid activist activities, such as food bombs, community gardens, homeless shelters, and various volunteer activities. And these are all well and good, but they're kind of common. They've been done. The character would be much more interesting if they were involved with something different, something folks might not be familiar with.
What about capitalist resistance? You know, like that new slacktivism stuff you talked about in that video you did with that straw dog guy?
Yeah, there's that. And maybe the character should start out with these tactics for realistic character development. But what kind of activities could they engage in that would be the logical evolution of those practices? Here's some ideas I've heard about. In a book I reviewed called Rules for Radicals, there are examples of political actions outside the norm of sit-ins or picket lines, and instead engaging in fun, crass group actions such as occupying bathrooms where wealthy people are expected to be able to use them, like in an airport, or harassing wealthy people by getting a group to openly fart in an opera house.
Oh yeah, I've heard of a few things like that, like maybe this hypothetical and totally fictional character could engage against consumerism by committing propaganda and ad blocking. You know, like covering or rewording ads on billboards, buses, and benches to alter the message, or pasting or stickering propaganda in visible and well-trafficked areas. And hypothetically, this completely fictional character could cut up the propaganda stickers with a razor blade after the character applies it to make it harder for people to peel off. Oh, and another tactic I've seen is putting a black Sharpie line vertical on a barcode to slow down consumption. Carrying propaganda stickers or papers in a wallet to place around stores while shopping, such as Sweatshop Made or Research Coltan Mining. Or one I heard Jello Biafra promote was called Johnny Potseed. This 100% non-existent character could plant marijuana in public parks and government lawns.
Boy, Anarkitty, those are some great ideas. Now you've really got me thinking. I've worked a lot of retail jobs over the years, and you always hear about creative ways to commit theft. Maybe if the character works at a retail job, they can hear about or engage in these practices, such as when a store is busy, one person can go and buy an item, and then send another person in to steal the same item but with the valid receipt from the purchase. Or they could scrape the sticker off the back of a gift card in December and copy the numbers down and buy items online while the real gift card is waiting to be opened for Christmas. Or they could use a band-aid over a razor on their finger to remove packaging. Or get really silly with it and dress up as Santa and give away merchandise to children. Or to get more political with it, they could occupy a recruitment center. It's a pretty simple tactic. Just get 8 or more people to, over the course of a recruitment center's operation hours, have one person after another realistically entertain the idea of joining the military, taking up recruitment center time from open to close.
Another tactic that could be used in this work of fiction is black fax. That's when you take like 4 or so pieces of black paper and you tape them in a loop through a fax machine. Then you fax that to a target company so you can perpetually waste their paper and ink until they unplug the machine. And if the character's tech savvy, they could use this tactic by hacking into a company's Wi-Fi printers.
Or if they were really tech savvy, they could disrupt shipping, like get into a company's intranet through firewalls by accessing certain unguarded aspects such as the building's heating or wireless printer controls, and from there access shipping data and change some of the numbers, causing confusion and wasting company time.
Oh, you are a naughty dog, aren't you? Well, I know some other tactics like that, like maybe said imaginary and totally not real activist character could commit acts of small sabotage. Things like putting glue or aerosol can foam into card swipers and coin slots on corporate machines, or locks of various equipment, everything from the doors of the targeted company to construction equipment, even parking meters.
There's all kinds of little things this character could do to a company, like putting an out-of-order sign on things, or cutting exposed wires, or putting a chain around the handles of a door or a dumpster and locking it, or cutting the locks off of doors and dumpsters and replacing them with different locks. Heck, maybe even clogging the new lock with glue. Locking the corporations out of engaging in their evil deeds, or causing the corporation to fill up with garbage. That's a great storytelling metaphor.
Or running yarn around trees to prevent deforestation. Gods, I love yarn. Or run a cable through the tires of targeted vehicles to lock them together. Or fill construction equipment with cement, or block doors or gates with cement. This make-believe story character could even mix bolts in with the cement so it can't be cut through. Or if they want to sabotage concrete, like if their action's to halt construction or something, they can mix a pound of sugar with the concrete to keep it from setting properly. You know, American's grandpa was a New York construction union man, and they used to do that all the time. Hell, in this fictitious story world, characters could pull up railroad ties where targeted company shipping occurs. Maybe American doesn't want this to be a Project Mayhem ripoff, but I'd love to see a character engaging in these tactics in non-real life.
Those are awesome examples. They remind me of some of the tactics mentioned in the book Recipes for Disaster, such as finding a building's utility, such as a gas line, and using the utility company's on-off switch to turn it off and lock it off. Or who could forget the classic concept of using paint or silly string on a pole to black out cameras? Or one I really love from that book is spreading propaganda by clearing out a newspaper dispenser and replacing its contents with leftist literature. Come to think of it, Recipes for Disaster has all kinds of stuff like this, such as how to do a banner hoist, or how to hijack an event, or how to paste up a poster. All kinds of practical tactical info.
Well, with all these types of activist activity, I really think that Emerican could have an interesting and compelling activist character for his fictional series. You know, in fiction.
Yeah, I can't wait to tell him. I'm super stoked. Thanks for helping me brainstorm, Anarkitty. I knew you were the comrade to ask.
No problem, Rad. You know, you're pretty fly for a canine.
Oh, and for the folks out there at home, if you have cool ideas for tactics that Emerican Johnson's fictional character could do, please take that discussion to the comment section. And if you're interested in radical theory, or looking for a book recommendation or whatever, you can get your radical reviews here with the Radical Reviewer. Thanks for watching.
Dirty, that's what he said. After 7 pints of beer and 30 cigarettes, Cuba corner pocket, blue chalk on his chin, our lonesome bullseye in a sky of dents. Gotta throw them a curveball, swing and a miss, play nicely. That's what they taught me.